Hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Himangini and I'm a choreographer and a writer. My artist name is Himi. I wrote a book of poems called Unrooting last year. It's my first book of poetry. As a poet, I feel like poetry is catharsis. It's a way in which we give our emotions a root to everybody else. I think poets have a way of bringing forth emotions that other people often feel but are afraid to bring to life or to share with others. Coincidentally, my book has themes that is coinciding with the theme of today's event, the light and the shadows. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I wrote these poems before I launch into them. I have sections in my book such as dark poetry and love poems, so I'm going to speak from self-love and dark poetry today. One of my poems is called Fallen, which I'll be reading for you. I wrote this during the time of COVID when I really didn't know when I'll be able to come up on stage again. So here I go. Fallen. I've fallen. Fallen from a cage into a pit of mercy. The dirt is sinking in my eyes like tears on a heavy night, like romantic novels on a bed of spikes. Christmas seems so far, it's my favorite day of the year. I'm so disjointed, far from making any sense, I fear. My thoughts resemble a colloquial pub where anger is drinking tequila. Misery is sitting right next to her. Pity is lighting anger's cigarette. And sadness, well, she's the fragrance in the room. This pub has some strict rules, my demons only. It's for when I need to have a drink and chat with my greed, for when I feel like this novel is turning into mead, a dreadful pile of drunken notes, a memoir of peace dismantled and hoard. I struggle with choices of choosing the better. I pick number one, but pity somehow tells me to pick the lesser. Then anger gets drunk and loses her temper, breaking her body into what looks like November. Knowing that she has nothing to gain, but all the others in the place couldn't put anger together again. And so she was lost like a whisper in the crowd, riding upon a word in the wind, finding an ear to enter and begin the process of wrath and to cultivate fears. But this time, it felt like she was falling on deaf ears. You see, I'm learning to use ropes and tapes to strangle pity when she attempts to rape my mind, my soul, my power, my shape, to tape up misery's mouth shut with pride when she dresses in blue and takes a dive into my thoughts like she's in the wild where I'm the zebra running for my life. And if the tape does not suffice, I'm carrying 2 guns locked and loaded to curb these monsters and to teach them about loss, to curb these monsters and to teach them who's boss. Thank you. I often say this, and I apologize to the journalists in the room today, that the key difference between journalists and poets is that journalists report about the wars, but the poets talk about how the people felt during the war. And this is something that I believe poetry has the power to do. It also has the power to make us rise above the ashes. After being in the dark space and writing dark poetry, I believe the only thing that can really truly help us come out of it is love. As corny as it sounds, it is that. And one of the most powerful forms of love is self-love. It's not only powerful, it's also long-lasting if you get there. A part of loving ourselves is also learning to protect ourselves. This next poem is about that time where I learned to protect myself. Crisp Gardens. Rhapsodies awaken when tapped into my mind about a theme as light as ravens, yet dark like their deep black eyes. I have these dreams, these milestones, if you will. How strange it is that the world wants only what it wills. Even when you tell them, hey, this is not what I like, they'll still give you an extra bowl of cauliflower rice. What does it mean to you when I say that this is a rose I sowed someday? A rose on the day my father told me he loved me. A climber for a day when my friends said they were proud of me. Another rose for a day my mom cooked food with love for me. A lily for a day someone took a chance on me. and a daisy for every day I believed in myself. You see, my garden is filled with daisies, with roses, with lilies, with climbers. You'd think they'd only bloom in spring. You're wrong. They're like me. They're survivors. This garden I've built is sacred. It's mine. I've laid a few traps for those who trespass by. If you're one of those, you'll hear this sound of walking on crisp leaves, feeling like spring has long left town. But if you're one of those who wish me well, choose my energy and choose to protect my light, my will, my power, my womb, look in a corner of this garden and you'll see a lily bloom. Thank you. And for those of you who are looking for a little bit of light today, I'm going to read the last part of my book, the back cover. And if you cannot find the light, I urge you to look within the corners of my heart, or your heart, for the holes that were punctured left not only wounds, but windows to let the light sink in. Thank you. Thank you so much.